Who is Malachi from the Bible? He is a prophet, and his story is told in the Book of Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament. Unlike stories of other prophets or Bible characters that might take us through their life events, Malachi's story focuses more on his message than on personal details about his life. We don't know much about who Malachi was personally, his background, where he came from, or even if Malachi was even his real name, as the name in Hebrew means my messenger. Malachi delivered his message about 400 years before the birth of Jesus, during a time when the Jewish people had returned from exile in Babylon and rebuilt the temple in Jerusalem. This was a tough period for the people of Israel. They were disappointed because their return home wasn't as glorious as they had hoped. The land was under Persian rule, and life was hard. They were expecting more prosperity and freedom, but instead they faced economic difficulties and moral decline. Malachi's book is structured as a series of disputes between God and the people of Israel. The people doubted God's love for them. Malachi reminded them of how God chose them and loved them, using the contrast between Jacob and Esau to show God's favor toward Israel. Malachi criticized the priests for offering blemished sacrifices to God, not respecting the covenant, and leading the people astray. He called for them to honor God truly. The prophet condemned various social injustices among the people, including divorce, marrying foreign women who worshipped other gods, and not taking care of the needy. Malachi challenged the people for withholding tithes and offerings, contributing to the economic hardships. He promised blessings for those who would trust God and bring their full tithes to the temple. Malachi warned of the coming day of the Lord, a time of judgment, but also of healing. He promised that those who feared the Lord would be spared and blessed. Malachi called the people to turn back to God, promising that if they did, God would return to them. He spoke of a future messenger who would prepare the way for the Lord. One of the most famous parts of Malachi's message is the promise that Elijah the prophet would come before the great and dreadful day of the Lord to turn the hearts of parents to their children, and the hearts of children to their parents. Christians believe this prophecy points to John the Baptist, who prepared the way for Jesus. Malachi's messages are the last words from God before the silence of about 400 years, until the arrival of John the Baptist and Jesus in the New Testament. His call for faithfulness, justice, and repentance set the stage for the coming Messiah. Malachi's emphasis on purity, proper worship, and social justice, along with his prophecy of Elijah's coming, connect the Old Testament promises with the New Testament fulfillment in Jesus Christ. Even though we don't know much about Malachi the person, his messages are a powerful reminder of God's faithfulness, the importance of living with integrity, and the hope of redemption and renewal. Now you know who Malachi is in the Bible. Hope you have found this information helpful, and I pray that it will further your walk with Christ. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will be going through many and hopefully all characters of the Bible. Thank you, and God bless.